Here's something that will genuinely mess with the way you think about money. Jeff Bezos has never had to sell Amazon stock to pay his electric bill. Elon Musk doesn't liquidate Tesla shares when he wants to buy something. Warren Buffett has held some of his positions for over 40 years without touching them. And it's not because they don't need cash, it's because they figured out something that most people never do. The wealthy don't sell assets to get money. They borrow against them. They build systems that generate cash without ever reducing their ownership. They understand a concept so powerful and so simple that once you hear it, you'll wonder why nobody taught you this in school. Today, I'm breaking down exactly why wealthy people never sell their assets, the specific mechanisms they use instead, and how ordinary investors can copy the same strategy at any income level. By the end, you'll look at your portfolio completely differently. Let's get into it. First, let's understand why selling is actually the worst thing you can do with a growing asset. You buy $1,000 of an S&P 500 index fund at age 30. You never touch it. At age 65, at 8% average annual return, that $1,000 is $15,968. You turned $1,000 into $16,000 by doing absolutely nothing. Now let's say at age 45 you needed $10,000 for something. You sold your position to cover it. Gone. Done. You just eliminated 35 years of compound growth for a $10,000 problem you solved with yesterday's money instead of building tomorrow's wealth. But here's what makes selling even more destructive than most people realize. When you sell an asset that has appreciated, you trigger a capital gains tax event. Depending on your bracket, you might lose 20 to 30% of the gain to tax immediately. You're not just losing the asset, you're losing the asset plus a penalty for having grown it in the first place. The wealthy work this out early. The moment you sell, you lose three things simultaneously: the asset itself, all future compounding on that asset, and a chunk of its current value to tax. That's why they simply don't do it. So if they don't sell, how do they access cash? This is where it gets genuinely interesting. It's called the buy, borrow, die strategy, and it is completely legal, widely used by billionaires and high net worth individuals, and a version of it is available to you right now. Here's how it works. You accumulate assets, stocks, real estate, a business. Those assets grow in value. Instead of selling them to access that value, you borrow against them using the assets as collateral. The loan gives you cash. The assets keep growing. You pay back the loan using either new income or dividends from the assets. You never sell, you never trigger a capital gains tax event, and when you eventually die, your heirs inherit the assets at a stepped-up cost basis, meaning the embedded capital gains disappear entirely. The borrow step is the key that most people miss completely. When Elon Musk needed cash for personal expenses or business ventures, he pledged Tesla shares as collateral for personal loans. The shares stayed in his name, continued appreciating, continued representing his ownership stake. The bank got repaid, the shares kept compounding. No sale, no tax event, no interruption to the compounding curve. You might be thinking, that's fine for billionaires, but that's not available to me. And you'd be partially right, but only partially. Here's how regular investors access versions of the same strategy. If you have a brokerage account with sufficient assets, most major brokers, including Fidelity, Charles Schwab, and Interactive Brokers, offer something called a margin loan or a securities-backed line of credit. You pledge your portfolio as collateral, and the broker extends you a line of credit, typically 50 to 70% of your portfolio's value. Current rates on securities-backed loans are around 5 to 7%. No credit check, no income verification, no sale of assets required. Example, you have $100,000 invested. Your broker extends you a $50,000 line of credit. You draw $30,000 to cover a home renovation, an emergency, or an investment opportunity. Your $100,000 stays fully invested, keeps compounding. You repay the $30,000 over time from your income. Net result? You accessed $30,000 in cash without selling a single share, without paying capital gains tax, and without interrupting even one day of compound growth. Compare that to selling $30,000 of your portfolio. Capital gains tax on the appreciation may be $6,000 gone immediately. Future compounding on that $30,000 for 20 years at 8%, $140,000 gone permanently. The cost of selling is not $30,000. The real cost is closer to $146,000 in future wealth. Real estate investors have understood this for decades. It's called a cash-out refinance, and it's the property version of the same principle. You bought a house for $300,000, it's now worth $500,000. You have $200,000 in equity sitting idle. Selling the house means paying agent fees, capital gains tax, and losing the asset. But you can refinance the mortgage, pull out $150,000 in cash at mortgage rates, and keep the property. The property keeps appreciating. The tenants keep paying the mortgage. You have $150,000 in cash to deploy into another property or investment. No sale, no tax event, no loss of the compounding asset. This is how wealthy people end up with portfolios of 5, 10, 15 properties without ever having a particularly high income. They buy, it appreciates, they borrow against it, they buy again. The assets pile up. The tenants service the debt. The net worth grows without a single asset ever being liquidated. Now, here's the third pillar of why wealthy people never have to sell, and this one is the most accessible of all: cash-flowing assets. The wealthy don't just hold assets that grow, they specifically accumulate assets that throw off regular income. Dividends from stocks, rental income from property, interest from bonds, revenue from businesses, royalties from intellectual property. This income covers their living expenses without ever requiring them to sell the underlying asset. When your dividend portfolio generates $40,000 per year in income and your lifestyle costs $40,000 per year, you never need to sell a single share, ever. The assets sit there compounding indefinitely while the income stream funds your life. This is the ultimate version of the strategy. You're not even borrowing, you're living entirely off the yield while the principal grows untouched. The wealthy build income-generating asset portfolios specifically to create this situation. They never sell because they never have to. The assets are generating more cash than they need to live. Dividends are especially powerful because of dividend growth. A stock yielding 3% today that grows its dividend at 7% annually is yielding 6% on your original investment in 10 years, 12% in 20 years. The income compounds alongside the asset. The longer you hold without selling, the more cash it generates without any additional investment.
There's also a psychological dimension to this that doesn't get discussed enough. Selling is final. It's irreversible. Once you sell a great asset, you can never get it back at the price you sold. Investors who sold Amazon in 2001 when it dropped 90% never recovered those positions. Amazon went on to become one of the greatest wealth-generating assets in financial history. The people who held through the crash became extraordinarily wealthy. The people who sold locked in a loss and were psychologically too scarred to buy back in when it recovered. Wealthy investors understand that volatility is not the same as loss. A paper loss is not a real loss. An asset dropping 40% in value on a Tuesday is not a reason to sell it if the underlying business is still sound. The loss only becomes permanent and real the moment you sell. This is why Warren Buffett's most famous holding period is forever. Not because he's sentimental about stocks, because he understands that the longer you hold a fundamentally strong asset, the more certain the outcome of compounding becomes. Time eliminates most of the risk in quality assets. Selling eliminates the benefit of time. Here's how you apply all of this right now, regardless of what you have invested. Step 1. Reframe what your portfolio is. It is not a savings account you dip into when you need money. It is a compounding machine you protect at all costs. Every time you consider selling, ask yourself, what is the real cost of this sale in future wealth? Run the numbers. You'll almost never sell once you see them. Step 2. Build a cash buffer specifically so you never have to sell assets in an emergency. 3 to 6 months of expenses in a high-yield savings account means your portfolio never gets liquidated under pressure. Most forced selling happens because people have no other option in a crisis. Remove that scenario entirely. Step 3. If you genuinely need to access portfolio value, explore securities-backed borrowing before selling. Talk to your broker. Understand the rates and risks. A 5% borrowing cost versus a permanent loss of future compounding is almost always worth it for short-term cash needs. Step 4. Start building income-generating assets alongside growth assets. Even a small allocation to dividend ETFs like SCHD or VYM starts creating income that reduces your dependence on selling. The goal is to eventually live off the income stream and never touch the principal. Step 5. Think generationally. The buy, borrow, die strategy works because the wealthy think in decades and generations, not months. Every asset you hold long enough becomes a generational wealth transfer. Every asset you sell early becomes a lunch you ate in 2026 and forgot about. The wealthy never sell their assets because they built systems that make selling unnecessary. They borrow when they need liquidity. They collect income when they need cash flow. They hold through volatility because they understand that time and compounding are doing the work. And they never let a short-term cash problem destroy a long-term wealth-building machine. You don't need to be a billionaire to apply this. You need a brokerage account, a cash buffer, and the discipline to treat your investments as permanent unless there is an extraordinary reason otherwise. The compounding machine doesn't need your help. It just needs you to leave it alone.